Hi and welcome to this Autoemotional presentation for a rather sexy looking Range Rover Evoque. Now of course this caused a lot of controversy when it came out being the baby Range Rover, but it's kind of matured and grown on the public to say the least. These are rather popular vehicles now, and this particular one is the higher spec dynamic 2.4 litre, and as you can see presented in the gleaming black metallic. To be honest, you get body kits and you get aftermarket bits and bobs for lots of vehicles, but for the Range Rover Evoque, you tend not to find stuff, and there's one very simple reason. It's because it comes from the factory pretty much fully loaded, as this one is. As you can see, it's got the black wheels as well, so it gives it that nice menacing look, and a deceptively large vehicle as well. I'm 6'2", and sitting inside the vehicle, there is so much space. I was very surprised, to be honest, the first time I jumped inside an Evoque, because from the outside the footprint's pretty small. It looks so slick compared to, for example, its bigger brother, the Range Rover Sport and the Vogue and the Supercharged, so on and so forth. But ample room on this vehicle for full-size adults. So going around the vehicle, of course, that all-important Range Rover badge telling you, you've achieved something. There is definitely a status symbol attached to these cars as well. That honeycomb-style grille, silver valance at the bottom, integrated front fog lights, xenon automatic headlights, again those black wheels as mentioned as well, matte black, nice, not gloss, so it does look tad menacing as well. Those integrated vents on the front fenders as well, power folding electric mirrors. Oh, by the way, I mean, this car has got a lot of bells and whistles. We are certainly not going to be able to go through all of the electrics on this car. That deserves a video all on its own. Just a quick walkthrough letting you know some of the features of this, but we will show you that all important gorgeous panoramic roof on this thing. Again, even from the rear, as you can see, it's got such nice lines on it. The rear diffuser style, this is something that's borrowed from F1 cars, and it's on a baby SUV. It sounds crazy, but it just all lends to the styling and the lines on this particular car. That rear window as well, integrating the roof spoiler as well as that third high-level brake light. Again, lots of nice touches. For example, even the rear lights, everything just looks so chiseled and purposeful and stylish on this car. It really is a bit of a style statement, but very practical. The fuel economy on these cars is surprisingly good. Of course, this isn't its full-size 2.5 litre big brother, the Range Rover Sport or Supercharged, so of course it's firmly planted when it's on the vehicle, being a four-wheel drive vehicle. You've also got the paddle shifts as well, so it really does cut across a lot of genres, this particular car. And as you can see, in a very good condition. Single lady owner, of course. You may have noticed that the car itself, very slight grays here up on the front as well. We here at Autoemotional, we're consumers as well as sellers, so we're always going to be upfront and honest and tell you exactly what the vehicle needs. So we're going to jump in, do all the electrics in a minute, but just a quick little walk around showing the outside as well. I mean, you've got a lot of toys on this thing, and also in the best possible color combination. Black on the outside with, of course, the black and red leather interior as well. Pop the doors open as well. You've even got that like piano finish even on the rear doors. Awesome sound system. It's got the Meridian upgraded sound system as well, so huge amount of multimedia facilities in this car. As you can see, the Range Rover rear factory fitted screens there as well. And one thing to showcase, I just toggle this out here, you'll see you've got lots of singing and dancing toys on this thing, fully operational of course. You can see it doesn't even get used. No one's even sitting in the back of this vehicle, to be honest. It's just a lovely husband and wife who are unfortunately not being able to pack this thing, despite how small it is, in their suitcase to ship with them back home. So it's going to be someone's lucky day when they end up with this vehicle. So you've got the control of the multimedia in the back here as well. Also, you've got the inputs there if you want to add AV screen inputs as well. Rear folding armrest as well with the obligatory cup holders, cubby hold, and of course it's split folding rear seat, so lots of practicality as well. 60/40 boot space on this thing, and again this is the fully loaded dynamic spec, so it really does have all the bells and whistles as well. We will jump into that momentarily. Here in the boot, you can open it 3 ways. Just touch the button on the boot lever itself, either off the key fob just by pressing it, or of course on the inside of the door panel as well. And again, letting you know exactly what you've purchased when you get a Range Rover nowadays, because this is really something to be proud of. Spare wheel, as you can see, in immaculate condition, 12 volt plug point there as well. And again, the Meridian sound system runs all the way throughout. There you see the 60/40 folding seats as well. And in fact, just a quick press of the button on the boot tailgate itself as well. It's all powered and electric as well. Rather nice and swishy space for 4 adults, as mentioned previously. Electric seats, all in immaculate condition. Car's got no warning signs or anything come up, and we'll start the vehicle for you shortly. All electrics, of course, to say the least, on these dynamic Range Rovers. Lovely, lovely vehicle. I mean, the color scheme on this, and again, upgraded Meridian sound system, tweeters there as well. And of course, it's Autoemotional vehicle number 414, so we're definitely climbing up the ranks. Now, keys in my pocket, so I can just approach the vehicle. I can lock and unlock it just by pressing these. Jumping in as well, you will see that the car starts absolutely on the button. Lovely Range Rover logo popping up there as well. So going through lots of the toys on the driver's door armrest. Of course, you've got the electric mirrors. Pop it across. That is the driver's, and that is the passengers as well. Electric windows all the way throughout, and you can cut the power to the rear. We're not going to demonstrate that as the car's just been validated, so we don't want water stains on the glass as well. Memory seats as well. I'm just going to turn the AC up 1 notch because it's absolutely baking outside there. 36 degrees, but it feels a lot more. So as mentioned previously, you can open the boot off the tailgate button there. You can adjust the lighting control for the binnacle illumination as well, in case you want it slightly dimmer. Everything is on the steering wheel on these things. I mean, you can go through all the multimedia stuff right here as well. And of course, SRS airbags throughout. Toggle through the cruise control, which works absolutely perfectly. Phones as well, all Bluetooth connectivity. I mean, to say this car's got a lot of bells and whistles is a bit of an understatement. Being a Range Rover, being a dynamic, and being a very late model, it's obvious that it has all of that stuff. But again, you can jump online, you can do your own research. But in all honesty, as you can see, you know, it'll take you home, which is where we are at the moment. The home screen, parking sensors front and rear. You can switch the screen completely off in case you just want to cruise without any screens and bleeps and bells going off. But sat nav is up to date as well. Of course, you can go through to the audio and video. You can add, there's just so many things you can have on here. Bluetooth, SD cards, USBs, there's a lot of range of stuff. Of course, radio and AV inputs on the rear as well. So you saw you can add the My Video as well. You can go right through to the rear media. You can split how the screens are. There is so much to go through on this particular vehicle. Like I said, this infotainment and everything, it's a video in itself. So by all means, you know, any questions, we'll answer them for you. The AC, which you can't feel, but you can certainly hear, is absolutely ice cold and really is a blessed thing to have on a day like this as well. CDs, which are becoming a bit old school now, but you do have that facility there as well. Track change and so on and so forth. Again, as mentioned, the AC absolutely perfectly, and of course you've got all the digital controls, and it's dual zone, so passenger and driver have their own temperature gauges. The new style gear levers, of course, on these Range Rovers as well. It just toggles all the way through from park, reverse, neutral, drive. And of course you've got sports as well, and not only do you have sports, but you also have got the paddles on this particular car. So you've got the paddle shifts, plus on the right and minus on the left. So if you do feel like racing your Evoque, you can do that as well. Handbrake, it's electronic, and you can engage it manually, or as you can see now, I didn't do anything. Vehicle is on, and as soon as I put it, say for example, in reverse, not only do I have the rear screen come up, high definition and full color as well, but you'll see that the park logo has already disappeared purely because the vehicle knows that you're doing something, and as soon as I turn it back into park, it pops back up. So an intelligent vehicle, to say the least. Cup holder, cigarette lighter, doesn't get used, non-smoking lady owner as well. Lots of inputs there for iPod and USB as mentioned, as well as auxiliary, and you've got lots of paperwork as well through there, which we'll go through in detail for you. Airbags galore, and my favorite feature of the Evoque. Check this out. Absolutely fantastic, especially on a day like this. Gorgeous, simply gorgeous, full length panoramic roof, and it transforms the vehicle. I can't even swivel around to get the whole thing on there. It's just such a nice high specification vehicle. Bleeping to let me know that the ignition's on. I'm stepping out with the key in my pocket, but that's not a problem at all. And really such a nice car, and it's going to make for its new owner absolute envious on whoever's drive they're parked next to. So all in all, a drop dead gorgeous black Range Rover Evoque in the highest specification, being dynamic, 2.4 black and red leather interior, electric, absolutely everything, ice cold, AC, cruise control, sat nav, rear camera, panoramic roof, power folding mirrors, electric seats, steering wheel, memory seats, you name it, it's got it. Really a beautiful vehicle. And if there's any questions or test drives, by all means come through to us. And ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so much for watching this presentation by Autoemotional.